Hello, my name is Quentin. I am a certified Bob Ross instructor out of Dixon, Tennessee, and I teach all over the Middle Tennessee area. Today, I thought I'd just do a nice little painting for you, maybe do a Scottish loch with a nice little castle beside it. Before I do that, though, I wanted to take a moment and talk about some of my upcoming classes. So, in August, throughout Williamson County, I've got 5 classes coming up. We will be painting Enchanted Falls. This is based on Bob's Enchanted Falls Oval. Each class is $60. All supplies will be included. I'll be at the Fairview Rec Center on August 15th, Franklin Rec Center August 21st and 22nd, Longview Rec Center, which is in Spring Hill, that'll be August 28th, and the Nolensville Rec Center on August 29th. All Saturday classes are at noon. All Sunday classes are at 2. I'm also finally revealing my classes I have planned for the fall season. In September, we're doing Night Light, October, Fall Sunset, and November, Mountain Cabin. I'll be teaching these at all 4 of the rec centers in Williamson County. I will also have a couple classes in White Bluff, Kingston Springs, and the Centennial Art Center in Centennial Park. Don't have any dates or details on those yet, but keep an eye out for those. If you want more information or to register for any of my classes, you can go to paintingwithq.com or follow Painting with Q on Facebook. So I can go ahead and tell you what colors I'll be working with today. I've got some titanium white, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, midnight black, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, alizarin crimson, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and bright red. Now, of course, when we're working in wet on wet, the first thing we need to do is start with a slick canvas, and so I've got some liquid white here. I'm going to dip just the tips of my bristles into that liquid white. And I'm just going to distribute that around the canvas. My canvas here is a 16 by 20, pre-stretched canvas. When I bought it, it was only single primed, so I primed it a second time. And you may be able to notice that my cat helped. Now, I am live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, so feel free to leave a comment, and if I see it, I will try to respond. Ask any questions, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And today, because we're going to be in Scotland, I'm going to start with kind of a dark grayish blue sky. So I'm going to grab some of the Prussian blue, a little bit of the midnight black just to gray it up a little bit. And I want to tap those bristles nice and firm because I want the bristles nice and even, but I don't want a whole lot of paint. And I'm going to start in the top corners. And work across to the middle. Just work down. pick up just a bit more of that paint, and I'm going to do the reflection down here. Starting from the outside and just sweeping in. Alright, switching back to the trusty 2-inch brush. I'm going to start at the horizon line and just continue my crisscross strokes to blend. Ooh, that was a happy surprise. A little red in there. Knock that off. And very gently left and right in the water. Grab a little fan brush. Grab a little bit of the dark Prussian blue, a little bit of this alizarin crimson, and we're going to put in the indication of some little dark storm clouds in here. Just because it's Scotland and it always has storm clouds. Back to my big blending brush. And I'm just going to blend away the top of those clouds. I'm going to fluff these downward. Because on these dark storm clouds, the dark part is on the bottom, and then we have white on top. Grab a clean fan brush, load this up with some white. I'm just kind of squishing all of that paint down. Really just mostly concerned with the shape of that upper section of each cloud. A couple little spots in there. Back to the big 2-inch brush. Just blend away the bottoms. Being very careful not to touch the other clouds. Fluff them. And just hypnotize them. Okay. I'm going to go back to the fan brush that had the purple in. Make a bit more of that purple. Put just a touch of white in it. Nice little lavender. And I'm going to have a very distant little mountain right back there. Pull it down to make a reflection. Horizontal to blend that out. Very important step here. It's easy to forget. Take a palette knife. Get just a little bit of the liquid white on there. Put some ripples right against that shoreline there. Just sawing, put lots of pressure, sawing horizontally. Very distant little shoreline back there. Oops, I'm going to keep using that knife, and I'm going to take my Prussian blue, my midnight black, my alizarin crimson, make a very, very deep purple. A little bit of the white in there. Lay in big old mountain. Comes on out like that. Laying out in the water out there. Scrape off all the excess. Oops. And blend that just by pulling down, following the shape of that mountain. Down here, I'm going to do just a few little taps because I want there to be the indication of some trees right along there. And because we're in Scotland, sometimes these mountains have snow on top and green at the bottom. So I'm going to grab just a little bit of titanium white, and with no pressure at all. Just going to kiss that mountain with some snow. Grab the Bob Ross half-sized round brush. This is an absolutely fantastic brush. I don't teach with it because it's kind of a cheater brush, but you can use it for just about anything. I'm going to grab a little bit of the cad yellow, a little bit of the yellow ochre. I don't want this to be real bright or green. I'm just going to highlight and allow this to walk up the side of the mountain a bit. Good. the big 2-inch brush and turn this into a reflection. Grab the knife again, get that little roll of white on there. Looks like there is another little outlet right there. So there is now. There we go. Come back to the round brush, bump up that yellow just a bit. I'm going to add another little plane in here. Just like that, that one mountain becomes two. Grab some more of that lavender color. Put another one over here. Back to the 2-inch brush. I'm going to blend this hill down. And some tapping to get the indication that there's some trees on there. Clean that off. It gets its own reflection. Round brush. Again, I'm going to push this one a little more towards the yellow ochre. Little white on the palette knife. Go. I'm going to grab my 1-inch brush and load it up with that dark mixture. Actually, I'm going to add that Van Dyke brown to it. This is getting closer to us, so get a little bit darker, get a little more specific in color. And I'm going to set a pile there and pull off a little pile off to the side, add some of the sap green to it. Load my 1-inch brush into the pile with the sap green. Give it a wiggle on one side, firm tap on the other side. This can come off over this way. This just needs to be filled in nice and dark. Okay. Switching back to the round brush, I'm going to grab just a touch of the liquid white, and I'm going to load up mainly with the cadmium this time. Every time you reload, it creates another plane. That's good for right now. Some water lines. Okay, now I need to start working on the castle. The castle's going to be over here, kind of on a ledge. I'm going to take this pile up here that I separated out that has the dark brown in it. Pull it flat, cut across to get a little roll of paint on there. And I'm just going to start basing in where I think these towers are going to go. So here's going to be my big main tower. That. Building off to the side here. Not too worried about the details in the middle yet. Wall over here, covering a courtyard. I'm gonna actually switch over to my small knife and work on some of these little smaller detail things. Tiny little tower up here. Have spire here. In the front, that's kind of obscured. There's spire here. It's a little smaller. A little distant one back here, maybe. And then big one off to the side here. Just see the edge of. Into some of this brown, a little bit of that same mountain mixture there, and let's give this guy a rock to sit on. Something like that. And I'm going to come into the phthalo blue, and using that no pressure technique, I'm just going to add a little bit of a blue highlight on all of the shingles. Good. Oop, got a glob of white. I'm going to take a little bit of the dark sienna, a little bit of the white. What's that? Like a little bit of the yellow ochre. Like that. Maybe a bit more white. This is going to be our highlight color. And grab a little bit of that. Right along the side of that building there, I think. Oh, you know what? I forgot to give him a roof. He needs a roof. Like that. Right along this tower here. There. This little wall right here is going to have just a touch of highlight on that. Right. Now I'm going to switch back to dark color. I need to add shadows. right underneath the roof line there. There's a little courtyard, I think, right here. Like that. Grab this dark color. Put the shadows in that courtyard. Put some shadowy windows in that building there. Put some shadowy windows in this main tower. Bit of a shadow there. There's a ledge. Maybe a ledge there. Some more highlights in there. There. Not that bright red in there yet. Got some highlight color, and this could come down on this rock down here. Here. Ledge right in here. Yeah. I'm gonna grab my 2-inch brush and drop in some reflections. Waterline ripples in there. And then I'm going to put like a bridge right here in front. Go back to my dark color. Drop that in there. Switch back to my highlight. Right along the top edge. Walkway. Highlights the rail. There. Reflection there. Not too worried about that right there because I'm going to cover that up here in a second. Trying to decide if I want to add anything else. Go ahead and cover up this bottom corner. Go back into this dark green. We're going to put a big hill right here in the foreground. Some dark. So we have contrast. Back to my round brush. Yellow's going on in there. indication of some grass going on. I'm going to break this up a little bit. I'm going to put some rocks. Some dark, that'd be like a little rock here. Little rock ledge here, I think. Grab my highlight color. You could use a touch more of the dark sienna. There we go. That looks nice. A bit redder that. Grab a bit more of the liquid white on my brush. Yellows, maybe some of the Indian yellow to add some variation to it. Down. Allow this grass to come right over that rock there. Like that. And right here, there's kind of a closer island with some trees on it. So I'm going to grab my 1-inch brush, pull it through just that one direction so I round that one corner. Lock in some of those trees there. Back to the round brush. This time I'm going to load it sideways. That in like that. Put some sticks and stems in those trees. Some tall grass over here. Maybe the indication of some brickwork. And with that, I think we about have a finished painting. You can grab a script liner brush and a little bit of paint thinner. Load it up with the bright red. We're going to sign it. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Real quick, I'm going to switch on back over to my upcoming classes. September and October and November, these are the paintings I'll be teaching. I'll be teaching in Williamson County, but I'll also be teaching in White Bluff, Kingston Springs, and the Centennial Art Center in Centennial Park in Nashville. So just keep an eye out for those. PaintingWithQ.com or Painting with Q on Facebook. This coming month in August, I'll be teaching Enchanted Falls at the Fairview Rec Center on the 15th, Franklin on the 21st and 22nd, Spring Hill on the 28th, and Nolanville on the 29th. Those classes are all $60. All supplies are included. This is for 12 by 16 canvas. And my minimum age is recommended at 13. Thanks everyone for joining. And Until next time, happy painting!